Hi, Sandra here. Welcome to my channel, Create in Spain. Today I want to show you how I create multi-layer stamps from a photograph of a flower. Now, when I say multi-layer stamps, let me make it plain. I am making polymer stamps. If you've not got any idea how this is done, have a look at the past YouTube videos and you will find there are several videos on how I make polymer stamps. Use the latest one and you will find that it gives you a real-time experience of the stamp making and shows how I go about it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to be using two programs. The reason for this is because my photograph has background in it that I don't want. So what I'm actually going to be doing is using Super Photo Cut on my Mac, and I'm just going to minimize the screen for shortcuts a lot. Excuse me, a bit foggy here. And I'm going to take my photograph and just drag it into here. Now there are other programs that will take your backgrounds out. I've got this one. It was cheap, cheerful, does the job beautifully, does it fast, is easy to use, and I love it. I think it's great. So this is what I'm going to end up with. As far as I'm concerned, that's great. I want to get rid of that later on, but you know, it's not a problem. I can do that easily. So I'm going to go to File and Save, and I will save it onto my desktop. Ta-da! I'm going to replace the last one that I did. I've done this several times because I keep fluffing the videos. So I've got it saved, and I go back into Shortcuts a lot and use the trace function. Choose my image from my desktop, and this untitled PNG is what I want, and click on Open. Now I'm going to click on the Use the Alpha channel when it's available, and that will show me the colours that I'm going to get, and then update the preview. Now I haven't altered any of the settings, this is just purely automatic. I'm happy with that. I've got 4 colours to choose from. I could up it, but I really see no point in making this far more complicated than it has to be. I mean, I don't want to make 7 stamp layers, for heaven's sakes. So I'm going to go back to my 4, update my preview. Whoops, gone down to 3. Go to 4, update my preview. Yep, that's fine. Click OK. And here's the result, which is brilliant. I should be quite happy to make a stamp that looks like that. What I am going to do is decrease the size of it at the moment. Apart from the fact that I don't want a stamp that big, neither do I want it this big, to be honest, I just need the room on my screen. So that's what I need it for. Now I'm going to right click and go to Ungroup. And then I'm going to go to my eraser, and I'm just going to get rid of this bit here, which I don't want. Now when I let go of the eraser and it works out that I've just done that, it's going to take the colour out of my image because it's going to have opened the paths, so don't get shocked when it does that, which it will do. Ta-da! There we go. All I need to do is take my selection tool, drag a box around it, go to Path, and go to Close the Path, and it's back to normal. You don't generally have colour fills on open paths. In Shortcuts a lot you can, but I've got it set that I don't. It's in your preferences. If you want to alter it so that it shows colours when your paths are open, feel free. It's in the preferences, you can do it. I find it better not to have that checked because I want to know that my paths are closed most of the time. So we can drag the individual colours out and see we have 3 different shapes here. This would be my background colour, the first thing to be stamped. This would be my second, and then that's my final one. Now, a word about stamp making. If you're making stamps the way that I do, which is by making a blank from a vinyl template, then you might want to break this apart and delete some of the very small bits that you may not want to weed. It will give you less detail, but it will still look like a flower. If you're doing this the other way, which is to print a negative in strong black ink, and there are various videos online on how to do that, but my printer doesn't do it very well, which is why I don't do it that way. Then you can keep all the detail in and it'll be fine. But this is how I do mine, so I do tend to take out these little bits. Now, a tip that I will give you is that when you've actually made your stamps, you won't recognise which way round these are. You won't know what rotation it's under. So what is sensible to do is to simply write, and I'll start up here, for example, a number 1. Go over here and put in a number 3, because that's the third one I want to do, and then put a number 2 on this one. And what I tend to do is to select it and put it in the middle of my design, like so. Ta-da! There we are. Now, when it comes to making your stamp, you make your stamp with this in it, but when it comes to inking it up, you just don't ink the number. But you can use that on your stamp to actually make your stamping obvious, so that when you stamp your image, you know that it's this way round, rather than, for example, like so, which will give you a totally different look to your flower. And okay, you might decide to do that on purpose from time to time, but in some cases you can't do that because it makes your flower look pretty stupid. Okay, so that's how I would do it, and to be honest, these are way too big, so I would also take the entire lot, group it and resize it, making sure the dimensions were kept at the same percentage. Other than that, that's it. It's really been easy to do, and you can create some really beautiful multi-layer stamps that are popular to buy these days. Hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.